So, welcome. Thanks for coming. Glad you are here. My name's Kyle, and what we're going to talk about today is maximizing the time you have when you are in the BDC. Now, maybe you're a BDC agent, maybe you're a manager. We don't know 100% who you are. At the end of this, we'll be able to pause and ask questions. And the benefit when you sign up for Numa, when you're on Numa, is you got more time during the day because for the majority of folks that are on Numa, Numa's handling the brunt of the communication at the start, especially in a lot of cases. If you're on Numa, fantastic. This works great for you. If you are not on Numa, no problem. You'll still be able to pick up some things here. Now, one of the things about this topic in particular, super simple. You may walk away from this going, well, of course, I know that. Sometimes the best answer is the simplest answer. You want to lose weight? Diet, exercise. And this has a lot of fundamentals in that. Again, you're muted, but if you have any questions, please feel free to chat those in and we'll be happy to answer them. A little awkward. This picture of my big fat face, all good. I'm actually in a store right now, and something I'm very, very proud of is everything we do that we talk about, I do live. There's tons of videos online, mostly on the sales side for whatever reason of making and taking calls. I'm in a sales BDC today. I work in service BDCs too, and I'm very proud of everything that we talk about on these webinars, in class, and our recorded content library. We do live. And I'm not the one to put top BDC trainer in the world there. I'm not going to argue with it, but I didn't put that. That'd be weird if I was like, I demand that on here. So let's talk about service declines. Again, low hanging fruit, easy stuff to hit on when folks roll through the service drive and they decide they're not going to do something. That's the main topic of this. We're going to give a call guide at the end of this deal, and you can take the call guide that we give you and modify it though for different types of actions. Now, it's important to remember when somebody comes into the service department, they want an oil change, a tire rotation, they have a check engine light, whatever. Sometimes they get hit with these repairs, and it's actually a surprise. It's something that they're not expecting. And not only are they not expecting it, sometimes stuff is expensive. And even if they're like, you know what, I need to fix this thing. How long does it take for a repair that's unexpected sometimes? 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, if there's even parts. And you just got to remember the customer wasn't expecting the repair. They get asked to maybe sit there all day. We might not have the parts. There's a number of reasons why, not just the price, why they may decline the service visit. So just thinking it from the customer's perspective, it's a surprise, it's expensive, and there is a long wait sometimes. Now, on the flip side of this, the brakes are not going to fix themselves. The gaskets, the seals, whatever the repair that was needed is not going to fix itself. And the longer that they drive with that problem, the worse that it's going to get. So it's just important to remember we're doing them a service if we reach out to them to get things fixed, because the longer they wait, worse it's going to get. What would happen if we just called every single service decline within 24 hours and just asked them to come back in? Just thinking of your store. You get 10 service declines at your store, you call 10. Hey, service visitor, this is Kyle from ABC Motors. I want to thank you for visiting our service department. And it looks like your vehicle needs brakes, and I was calling just to schedule that for you. If we just did a simple call like that, a huge percentage of people are just going to say yes, because it's something that they know they need to fix. And if they tell you no when you call them up, maybe just find out why. Maybe it was timing. They didn't have time to wait. They're waiting for their next paycheck, didn't have a ride. It could be something very simple. Just find out the why, invite them into the dealership if it's something simple you can handle, and a lot of people are going to come in. Now, side's kind of silly. It's kind of funny. You down with SPP? You know me. Or you sunbit? I sunbit. 0% financing is available in a lot of service departments or financing in general. There's a chance, not everybody, not everyone that's on this webinar, there's a chance that you offer financing. So even if the customer says it has nothing to do with the money, just as a nice reminder, you know what, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, just so you know, and I always tell everybody this, we have financing available at the dealership for 0% for X amount of months. And should you decide to do this, I'm highly confident it'd be very fast and very easy to get you qualified. That's something you'd like to take advantage of? That's great. Would you like me to maybe move in that direction? Pick up some more business by offering this. Now, something else that's important. And the more you start making these service decline calls, the better you'll be able to sell this. Can you sell the work needed? If it's brakes, do you have an elevator pitch for the brakes? If it's a gasket, a seal, a transmission, or whatever, you might just want to practice your elevator pitch before you make the call and let them know why they need the brakes and the value of actually doing the brakes. And remember, things aren't going to get any better. So if someone tells you no again, just as a service to them, you may want to have your elevator pitch ready. And Derek, who's on here, dressed very festive, at the end is going to talk about ways you could practice your elevator pitch and just be able to sell the work needed. Something else, not everybody's going to have this. A lot of people will. Do you have coupons? Do you have something that you could offer the customer? Do you have value adds? You know what? If we do brakes, maybe we can knock this out at the same time. Can you just do a car wash for the people? Just so you know, when you come back in and do those brakes, we're going to wash your car again. And a lot of times, just something simple like this, a gift of value or a gift of perceived value, is valuable or invaluable monetarily as that is, just the goodwill will allow them to set the appointment. And it's important to remember, when we call these people, we're trying to set the appointment for the service visit, and sometimes they just need this much extra motivation because they know that they need it too. Something big, and if your dealership is not doing this right now, it's something that you probably should consider. Did the customer get a video or a photo from the service advisor or the technician explaining why they need the work? We're seeing this more and more, and the people that do it not only get increased profitability per customer, they get less service declines. And the people that are utilizing photos and videos, when you call back, they're going to be more apt to set the appointment because it shows the realness of what is needed. If your dealership is not doing videos or photos now, if you're a service manager, you may think about implementing this. If you're an advisor, maybe talk to the service manager, BDC person, bring it up in the next meeting because it really, really does make a huge difference and it makes things feel so much more real. Videos, pictures of the repairs that are actually needed. All right, so simple call guide, low-hanging fruit. Again, what would happen if we just called everybody up and asked them to do this? Thank you for taking my call. This is from, I wanted to let you know how much we appreciated you using our service department, how much we appreciate you. And then you just pause, you just wait. And just by calling and thanking them and letting them know that you appreciate the fact that they use the service department, they know they got something that they need to fix. In the pause right here, you're going to have a lot of people go like this. Yeah, your guys were nice. And, they asked me for a $1,700 repair. I think I need to do it. Can I come in? Remember, they got caught off guard with it. In the pause right here, in this little pause, they may set their own appointment because they know that they need to get that work done. So thank them, let them know you appreciate them, and then just let the thing simmer for a second. Let me do it one more time. Thank you for taking my call. This is from, I wanted to let you know how much we appreciate you using our service department. Big smile, big happy, big pause. And then if they just go, yeah, I went down there, whatever. It looks like when you were in, we found that you need XYZ. Would you like to set time aside now and I could get you scheduled? Would today or tomorrow work best? Would Thursday or Friday be a good time for you? Now, when you're scheduling this, keep in mind how many hours the appointment needs and try to fill the shop when the shop is least busy. Try not to do one of those 7, 8 a.m.s if you can. Better for you, better for the shop, better for the customer. And if they say no, make sure they're happy at the end of the call. Thank them again. And then the best thing to do would just be to touch the service advisor or the service manager and let them know. I called so-and-so that needed such and such, and they said the reason that they didn't do that $3,200 repair is because of this. And at that point, If you reach out to the service advisor and you tell them the reason why the customer actually declined, it's going to help the service department a lot. Because when that service advisor is pitching service, they're going to be able to remember the feedback that you gave them on why people are declining. Now, not only is it going to help in day-to-day business, it's going to help with this customer in particular, because the service advisor is going to have the reason why, and then maybe they could figure out something that makes sense. Maybe they could accommodate the customer in some way. Maybe they can offer different types of parts. Maybe they can save them some money in some way that we haven't thought of yet. Our goal when we call this up is to schedule it. If we don't schedule it, leave them with a big smile on the way out, and then reach out to the service advisor or service manager and let them know the reason for the decline. And you are going to set a lot of appointments. And tap the service advisor, get a plan. Talked about that. And then with this, I think we are going to open it up for questions. And Chris, I don't know if you were manning the chat line. It's only open to hosts and it was only open to hosts and panelists. So let me fix this now and see if anybody. Can we have a copy of the call guide? Yes, you can. We'll send a copy of the call guide out after this webinar. Good question. Anybody else got anything? Please.
We had a couple of questions here. So the first is, can you expand on how dealerships can effectively identify the why behind declines during that first contact?
Yeah, 100%. That's a great question. So in the why we're talking about is why they declined the repair. Was it money? Was it time? Was it that it just caught them by surprise? Is it that they didn't want to wait for their ride? We just want to find out that why. And then if we know the why, if it's something that you can handle as the caller, just handle it. You could set up a shuttle a lot of times. Some dealerships utilize Uber. You can set up an Uber sometimes. If it's something that you can handle, just handle it. If it's something outside the realm of your scope, though, if it's, I think I can get it cheaper from someplace else. I don't think you guys are going to be the best suitable person to repair the vehicle. That's when you actually go and touch the advisor. If it's a small thing, handle it. If it's not a small thing, let them know that you're going to get with the advisor and reach back out to them. Hope that has it make more sense.
Awesome. And then the other question that folks had was actually around balancing respecting customer boundaries, but also asking them to actually bring their vehicle in for service. The question actually was, how should service departments balance persistence with respecting customer boundaries when addressing declined services? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Kyle.
Yeah, it is valid, because you don't want to feel like you're overwhelming people with follow-up, especially since they said no. Here's the thing. It's a little bit different than trying to sell somebody a vehicle, or it's a little bit different than knocking on the door and say, hey, do you want to buy something, like a door-to-door salesperson? Their car is broken, and this is work that they need. And it's going to be a detriment to them if they don't get it fixed. I think we said this early on. Somebody's got to fix it. It might as well be you. And you already have the relationship with them. So showing them that you're doing it out of a need to help and you're not eager to sell is one of the ways to limit the feeling of pressure. You really, really are helping people when you get them to do it. It's only going to get worse.
Perfect. Thank you, Kyle. That's it for questions.
Awesome. Thank you. And Mr. Festive here, I don't know, you got an extra house to store all those? So our man Derek has a different Christmas outfit from like the day after Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. I don't know how he does it. He stocks them up. I'm going to pass it over to him, and he's got some AI tips for you. I'm going to mute my mic, but if anybody addresses me, I'll pop back on.
You,
Derek, yes, sir.
You pull that deck up to that page? I think
What's on it? Can you see it?
I don't.
Is it the AI tip?
No, hang on. Now I got it. There
Great.
we go. All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
So, one of the things, and this is kind of letting you peek behind the curtains of what Numa does, but Numa uses the best in breed generative AI platforms that are out there to help with a lot of the different AI agents and features and functionality that it does. And one of the things that you can do with AI is help you practice, like what Kyle was talking about. We want to put you in a position where we are actually allowing you to use AI to then get better at your craft. So in this example, You could do this inside of OpenAI's ChatGPT. You could do it inside of Google Gemini. You could do it with Apple Intelligence. Any product that has a generative AI capability, Meta or Llama or any of those, that Claude, it doesn't matter. They all can do the same thing. But what we're going to do is simply go into ChatGPT and say, hey, play the role of a dealership service department customer. What objections would you have if I recommended rotor resurfacing? Now, why would we do that? Why would he ask ChatGPT to come up with objections? It's pretty simple. What we're trying to do is make ourselves better so that when we call out to a customer, we'll be prepared. If you think about what Kyle was just referencing as he was going through this and doing some of these training tips, he always has a plan for what's going to happen next. And if you know what the customer's possible objections are, guess what that allows you to do? Be prepared to answer them. Now, if you want to be next level, you could actually do a follow-up to ChatGPT and say, now that you've come up with these objections, share with me some best practice on how I could overcome them. And then ChatGPT will just take them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and run right through and it'll do that. The cool thing about this is once you understand this little tip, you can apply this to anything that you're doing. You can ask it to help you with brakes or alignment or a timing belt or any of the different things that you're potentially pitching to a customer. You just ask it, what are the potential objections? And then you say as a follow-up, how could I overcome them? And ChatGPT will spit it out and it'll give you some good stuff. So that's a little peek behind the engine of how you can actually use generative AI today in your business right now to help you get better. So practice, get your objections, be prepared to overcome them, and be prepared when that customer asks you, well, I don't have the money to do it today. No problem. We actually have a ServiceNow Pay Later program through Sunbit. I'll text you the link. We can go ahead and get you approved for that, and I can get the repair taken care of. So you're ready to go no matter what happens. All right, Kyle, thank you for today. That was a lot of great content, a lot of great information. And what we would really, truly love is some feedback. So you can scan this QR code with your phone and fill out some feedback. Now, not only are we looking for feedback for today, but we're also looking for content that you would like to see for the next webinar. So this is going to be an ongoing series. We're going to be doing this every month. Is that correct, Kyle? That's every month, right? Kyle and Chris, we're going to be hitting this every month.
Yep, third Wednesday of every month at the same time.
Third Wednesday, which I think means that third Wednesday is what, January
15th is the next one.
January 15th. So we would love to see all of you folks on January 15th. Make sure that you join us. So scan that QR code. Let's leave some feedback. Let us know what you thought of the session today and anything that you'd like to see us cover in a future session. And I think if we click to the next slide, we might even have a QR code that they can use to register.
Boom.
And there it is. Boom. 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time on here on this Bat channel with Batman, Kyle Disher, the top BDC trainer in the world. Really appreciate everybody being here. Scan that, register. We'll see you next webinar.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.